Evening, everyone, and welcome to our April PTSA meeting. The meeting is being recorded, just to make sure everyone is aware of that. We're going to go ahead and go through the business part of the meeting, and as soon as we conclude that, and we'll get through that pretty quickly, and then we'll move to our college panel. So to start, as you may have throughout this year, we have not been doing any voting, and that's because there hasn't been a policy on voting electronically. And one of the issues that a lot of the PTAs in the state of Maryland had with Maryland PTA. So we do have a lot of minutes that we've collected throughout the course of the year, as well as elections coming up in May. So please plan for the May meeting. We will be having, we will be voting. We're going to be voting electronically. It's going to be our first time. The board will be testing the electronic voting. It'll be done, I believe, by polling. So we do want to make sure that all those, so if you're, as long as you're a paid member of PTSA, you would be able to vote and be able to vote both for anything that we have, any business that we have. So just plan for next month's meeting. We are going to have a number of votes to pass all of the minutes for the year, as well as do our election. That'll be the May meeting. Just to let you know, the topic for the May meeting will be all of the summer programs that will be taking place: Regional Summer School, Wooten Summer Institute, the college programs that Wooten holds over the summer. And so we'll have multiple speakers from Wooten to talk about those programs. And we hope you join us. So moving on to our next topic, Maryland PTA. So I have talked before in these meetings about Maryland PTA. I wanted to let you know that on March 26, National PTA revoked the charter of Maryland PTA. National PTA worked with Maryland PTA for over a year to bring them into compliance with the National PTA standards of affiliation. And because they did not comply, a National PTA had to revoke their charter. So National PTA is committed to directly supporting the local PTAs like ours and the council PTAs like the Montgomery County Council of PTAs, MCC PTA, that were previously chartered under the Maryland PTA. And that's going to be until a new entity can be formed and leadership for the state entity elected by the members. So we're going to continue business as usual, but we now fall directly under National PTA. They are supporting us. They're doing great. They want to do everything they can to keep us supported, and we feel that. So they are in the process of setting up a new state entity, which it takes a little bit of time, but once they do set up that entity, they're going to create some fairly simple bylaws, and then there will be there's going to be a state convention. At that state convention for the new entity, there will be an election for the leaders of that new state PTA entity, and then there'll be approval of the bylaws. Based on our membership, we'll have approximately 30 delegates that may attend and vote at the state convention. We have an opportunity to be part of the new state entity. So if you are a member of Wooten PTA, please consider representing Wooten as a delegate at the state convention. We expect the state convention to be virtual, so it's going to be pretty easy to participate. In the past, it's pretty far from this area, so much harder to participate, but virtual will make it much easier. So please let me know if you'd like to be a delegate. All Wooten PTSA members are eligible. The convention registration will be paid for by PTSA. And we do want to make sure that we're fully represented. It will benefit us to make sure that we have a voice at the state convention. Are there any questions about that topic? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and move on to our vacancies. So we have a number of vacancies. I talked about the election in May. Our executive board positions that are vacant or that are open is the treasurer position, the corresponding secretary position, and the second vice president position. We really hope to get those positions filled. If you have any interest in serving, we really would appreciate it. It is a 2-year term. You don't necessarily have to serve both years if for some reason you cannot. But you know, it does help to have some consistency from year to year. And then some of the other positions that we have, and these are board positions, but not on the executive board. It's so we have an opening for the MCC-PTA Wootton Cluster Coordinator. That cluster coordinator coordinates among all 9 schools in our cluster. So we have 2 middle schools, 6 elementary schools, and our high school. So it's a really important role. There's a limited number of meetings during the year, maybe 4 meetings during the year. So it's, you know, and then there's some other activities that they do as well. They testify and things like that. And then we have our Wootton Cluster Rep. So that's the cluster rep that actually attends those cluster meetings that the cluster coordinator coordinates. We have the Patriot News Chair that's open, fundraising coordinator, student engagement coordinator, social media coordinator, NAACP rep, and a parliamentarian. So those are the positions that we have open. We do hope to fill those, but we will continue to advertise all. You know, if we can't fill them in May, we'll advertise over the summer, and we'll hope that some of our incoming families may be interested as well. But please consider serving. If you are interested, we do have a nominating committee, and you can find that information up on the Wootton PTSA website, and you can let those folks know on the nominating committee that you're interested. Also, the descriptions, the job descriptions for all of those positions are listed up there as well. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over to Anand. Are you on?
Yes, hi Brian, I'm here.
Hi, I'm going to turn it over to Anand for the update on the SRO resolution.
Great, thanks so much, Brian, and great to see everyone. So just a quick update on this. This has been a fairly contentious and lively topic for debate and discussion. I first want to thank everyone in our community who reached out and gave your feedback. It was really very helpful. We discussed this last time. And as a result of all that feedback, the 3 votes that we get at the Delegates Assembly, we decided to allocate them 2-to-1 against the MCC-PTA proposal, which was to essentially reduce or remove the SROs from schools. I think we heard very clearly from the community, including Ms. Bolden, about the importance and the value that this program plays in the community, the positive contributions that are made. And I think we generally had the sense that this was a good idea. And of course, like any good idea, it needs to be implemented and refined and improved. But still, it was not something that we would want to take away. So we did exactly that in the Delegates Assembly that considered the MCC-PTA resolution. We basically cast our votes by and large 2 against attempts to remove the SRO program and 1 for, because that was kind of the balance of opinion we heard from the community. Eventually, it was a fairly active and lively debate in the MCC-PTA. There were many amendments proposed to the resolution, and the final resolution that the MCC-PTA adopted did essentially take the view to discontinue SROs from individual schools, but rather to create resource personnel who would be assigned to schools overall, not just high schools, but all schools within a cluster in a way that is supportive of the needs of individual schools. So it's kind of left a little bit of the sense that there was a need to keep continuity, but still perhaps not necessary to have individual SROs positioned in high schools. And the final resolution is on the PTSA website. Just the one point I did want to make is that even though this is an MCC-PTA's advocacy position, as a PTSA, as Wootton, we are free to adopt our own position and advocate for it. So I think I just wanted to flag that we can certainly, this is not binding on us in that sense. So we can certainly adopt our own position. So maybe I'll just stop here and turn it back to you, Brian, see if there's any questions.
Are there any questions for Anand? Okay, and if you do have any questions or comments, please feel free to email us. And you can find all the contact information on the BTSA website. But we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for the update. And now we're going to move on to Ms. Kim Bolden's update, principal update.
Thank you, Brian. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here this evening. We clearly have a very popular subject, so I will not take too much of your time this evening, but I did want to provide just a few updates and an opportunity for us to continue the conversation in our coffee on Friday. So first of all, I'd just like to say thank you. There were a lot of juniors, over 230 juniors who participated in our SAT day last week. It was very successful, and we were able to test all of our students. And so they did a really nice job coming into the building and having a really great testing environment for them to complete the SAT. And I just appreciate all of the support of you and the staff and everyone for making that possible. We are continuing to find out more about AP exams, and Mr. Mamana, our AP coordinator, will also be giving more information about exam formats and times and dates. You should have received some communication so far regarding the AP exam schedule, and as we move closer to May and the window opens, we'll have more frequent conversations. And of course, your students, their first person that they should reach out to is, of course, their AP teachers if there is any question or confusion in terms of the schedule and in the testing format for this year, because it will be varied and look more similar to last year, where most of the tests will be delivered at home at digital options. So please just be on the lookout for more information regarding AP testing. Also, I would just want to mention for summer programming, as Mr. Rabin said, that we are gearing up for summer programs for our students. We will have, as always, our local school program, as well as the complement of MCPS's summer school program. We are still working through and getting authorization for the courses that we're going to offer for the summer, but you can look forward to classes that are more of a boost. We recognize that our students have been away from school for a while, and so we want to do more enrichment. We want to do more courses that cater to students returning and reacclimating to school, getting to know the building, jump starts in math and science and English. And so please look for those opportunities for our local summer school program. And of course, we will also have programs for credit for students. For our rising seniors, there will also be a focus on getting ready for college, and there will be opportunities for web workshops with through Ms. Carr's office and getting more information about application process, writing essays, and things of that nature as well. So we are a little later in getting that information out, but it is coming. We will be having all of these programs for the summer. For our senior parents out there, we are beginning to get more information about graduation. You should have received a survey about your preferences for attending graduation in person or virtual. Again, our graduation is scheduled for June 3rd at 9 a.m. and we are awaiting final approval from the County Council and Board of Education to continue with an in-person graduation, and we should be getting some more information about this week. But at this point, we're putting out surveys to make sure we understand interest in how many of our seniors will be participating in the event or in the graduation on June 3rd. Either way, we will complement the in-person graduation. It will be live streamed, and we will also have a virtual graduation similar to what we did last year. We have been communicating some dates for parent meetings and other upcoming activities. And so again, I just ask if you look out for those communications so that you'll know what's happening for our seniors and with our seniors as they close out their senior year. And finally, athletics update. We've wrapped up the fall. We're moving into an abbreviated spring session. Students are beginning to practice and beginning to come out for spring sports season. Mr. Al Lightsey will have a meeting on Thursday for any families whose students are involved in the spring athletic program to update you on all the protocols and what we are planning for the spring season, and also and you should be getting some information from each of the coaches for the spring season. And finally, we are continuing to return to school. Our very last group, I think it's Group B, L through Z. Feels like we've had 25 reopenings, but our group L through Z, 9th through 12th graders, return on Monday. And once again, we've been doing Connect Ed messages, just reminders for students of what to bring and how to navigate the building. It has been absolutely fantastic to see our students returning to school, and they are finding their way around the building again, reacclimating and interacting with their teachers. So I truly thank you for your support as we begin to transition to more in-person opportunities. And finally, we will have our coffee, our PTSA coffee on Friday at 9 a.m. I invite your questions and have an opportunity to discuss anything that may be on your mind or any questions you may have at that time as well. So I hope that you enjoy this evening, and I just want to say thank you to the PTSA for all of the fabulous programming they've done this year, and in particular this panel this evening. And also want to just give a shout out to Ms. Taylor for also being here to help moderate one of the panels. So with that, I'll turn this back over to you, Mr. Reagan.
I'm actually going to take over.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bolden. Oh, and on that note, I will be sending out an email to everyone asking for questions for the coffee chat. So look out for that email probably tomorrow morning. So if you have questions, you can send those to me and we'll make sure they get answered, or Ms. Bolden will attempt to answer them. So just a quick membership and treasurer update. So membership right now, we are up to 969 members for this year. So only down about 100 members from last year. So pretty good considering that we are in this pandemic and didn't have our back to school night. As far as treasurer goes, we are up right now. As far as receipts go, we are taken in $43,601 and spent $35,620. So we are up almost $8,000 for the year. So we're in a pretty good place. And as Brian mentioned, we're going to be doing some voting in the May meeting. And part of that May meeting, we will also be voting in the treasurer reports and the financial review. And so all of our members will get an email with a password to be able to access all of those files ahead of the meeting to review them. So that's all I have on that note. And I just wanted to end with, as Brian mentioned, the treasurer position is open. And so if anybody is thinking about the position, please, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to walk you through the responsibilities and what it entails. So with that, I'm going to turn it back over to you, Brian.
Thank you, Nikki, and thank you, Ms. Bolden, for those updates. And so now that this concludes our business part of our meeting,